We just saw Spectre, and on this show, I take my friends, we go see a movie, we review it here in the car, and then we have a discussion. The review part is spoiler free, so if you're on the fence or looking for a recommendation, you can watch this video without getting spoiled. And if you want to see the spoiler version, check out the other video. It's called Spectre Movie Discussion with Spoilers. Spectre, obviously the latest James Bond movie, the fourth Daniel Craig Bond, and just for a change of pace, I'm going to go last this time. What'd you guys think?
I really thought it was good in the beginning. It kind of hit some spikes, and then it kind of fell flat for me. But then you got the, hero ending that you would expect in any James Bond movie. But overall, it was good. I don't know if I'd rush out to go see it.
Okay.
Personally, I mean, it was good, but I could enjoy it at home.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
As a fan of the first two movies and not so much Skyfall, I feel like this is a little bit of a return to the Quantum story. Overall, I think I liked this movie. It was definitely not the strongest of any of the films. However, there's some really well shot scenes, some really well thought out areas of the film to go to. Big, evil, crazy stuff. Good villains, good henchmen, but just a touch flimsy on plot, I think.
Mm-hmm. Who would you recommend it to?
I would recommend this to anyone who actually enjoyed the first two Bond movie, the first two Daniel Craig Bond movies, and it has kind of a classic Bond feel to it in a lot of aspects as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
See, I liked Casino Royale. I didn't really care for Casino Royale Part 2. Skyfall was excellent. This was not that great a movie, in my opinion. The characters were outside of Moneypenny and Bond and the main cast. They were terrible. The villains were hokey to like old school Bond. It felt incredibly out of place. It was just not a very good movie. I wouldn't suggest it to anybody unless you really just needed a James Bond fix.
Okay.
I would suggest this movie to anyone who really likes the older Bond movies and has been kind of looking for some of the, signature moves that Bond movies had that maybe they kind of stayed away from at the very beginning of, like your Casino Royale and your Quantum of Solace and Skyfall and all that. It felt like with this like last Daniel Craig movie, they were kind of Daniel Craig had once said that you couldn't do a whole bunch of stuff because of the Austin Powers movies and stuff like that when they first started, and I feel like this movie they were like, no, we're gonna do it on our last movie, and anyone who it gave me a real sense of I was watching one of the older movies and.
So you're saying it's like as campy as like Goldfinger or something like that?
I'm not even saying necessarily campy. It was almost kind of like a nice ode to those movies.
Moonraker campy.
That's.
Would you recommend it?
I would, but I like these movies.
Okay.
Although I'm biased going into them. So.
Okay. Well, I like James Bond movies in general. I was not a big fan of Casino Royale. And Quantum of Solace, I couldn't even tell you what happened in that movie. I completely forgotten that movie. Skyfall, I felt like, even though it was a really different story for that character, it had the highest stakes of any James Bond movie I've ever seen, with M being in the balance, with James Bond's entire past being in the balance. This movie feels like they realized that at the end of Skyfall, there really wasn't much of anywhere to go. And so they had to build up something new. They had to get something new started. And that's kind of what they do with Spectre. If you know anything about James Bond, you know who the head of Spectre is. If you've seen any of the trailers, you know who the head of Spectre is. The movie decides not to tell you for like an hour. And it's supposed to be some kind of big reveal when it happens. And it just doesn't work. And so, for me, the whole movie felt like it was just killing time until Christoph Waltz shows up. And then, once he shows up, what happened next felt like setting up a history for another film. It didn't feel like a payoff in and of itself. It wasn't. This movie does not feel like it was designed to be remotely self-contained. It feels like a bridge between Skyfall and whatever they're going to do next. And whatever they're going to do next may not have Daniel Craig in it. So I think they made a very by-the-numbers movie, and there wasn't, like, even bad Bond movies, I can usually pick out like a real standout scene that I really enjoyed, was really impressed by. This just felt by the numbers. It felt really boring. There wasn't any like, wow, how did they do that? Or, oh, that was really cool, like clever thing that they did action-wise. So I would watch this on, home rental or something like that, just to kind of keep up with the story and see the possibly last Daniel Craig Bond movie. But other than that, I mean, it's not one of the greats for sure. So that's my opinion. If you like the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.